As we head into the home stretch of the Marble Invites in Season 2, we reach a very strategic event. It's curling in Event 9. I am Ramen Powder from the Quadrilla Marble League, and today in the commentary box I'll be joined by Speny from the Board Network's Marble Championship.
We have had curling a few times in the Board Network's Marble Championship, but this is always a chaotic and strategic event. You have no idea how these marbles are going to do, and I guess that is the fun of it. The Abstract Aquatics hold the championship lead. It went down a little bit in the triathlon. Here we go. This is going to be good.
Yeah, the pixelated artists in the triathlon, great momentum to get up into second place, but the championship leading Abstract Aquatics are going to face dead last Party Crashers right now in the first heat. How the ring is set up, you get 3 points for that ring in the middle. Oh, and Party Crashers completely missed the mark with their first marble. 3 points for the red ring, 2 points for the white ring, 1 point for the blue ring on the outside, and 5 points if you get in the middle and the bottom. So, it's still 3-0 to the Abstract Aquatics. We'll see if the Party Crashers can do anything. It doesn't seem like it so far.
Yes, this is an easy win for the Abstract Aquatics at the moment. The Party Crashers finally do something by hitting their own team. That is a strategy, and that can work, but it has not worked quite as well as they might have wanted. It's gotten a lot closer. On the top, it doesn't quite roll into the house. And Abstract Aquatics, the championship leaders, are moving on, and that is not a good sign for other teams, but we're only in the start. There's still a long way to go here.
There you can see that Party Crasher made a good game out of it, but their teammates could do nothing to help them, and their bottom half streak continues. But the championship leaders, the Abstract Aquatics, are looking very good, and this is troubling news for the other teams as we move on to Flamethrowers and the Blood Moons. Our hosts and defending champions have faced off many times in this season before. And the opening Flamethrower, ooh, is that going to be a 3? I think it's going to be a 2. And completely knocked aside by the first Blood Moon. What a move that was.
The Blood Moons know how to do it. They did Collision in Season 1, and of course the Blood Moons were the champions of Season 1. And curling can be a lot like Collision in some ways, with the barging of teammates and opposing teams aside. Ooh, Flamethrowers just missing the house there. Completely, actually. Oh, rolls back into... Oh, gosh. What's going on down there? Some sort of beef? Who knows? As here we go, Flamethrowers. Some more beef happening here. These teams very tight-knit with each other. 1-1. As we come into... Is that the anchor? I believe it is. Yes, the Flamethrowers on distance to the button will advance.
And one of those nudges were crucial. At one point in the match, one Flamethrower and one Blood Moon were both sitting at very equal distance to the button, I have to say. So that nudge to push the Blood Moon aside was pivotal for the Flamethrowers to dethrone the defending champions and move on to the next round, just by distance to the button. If a match is tied, it comes purely down to that, so that is something to keep in mind as we move forward in this event. Balls of Zen and the Banana Splits going in Heat 3. Balls of Zen were so consistent early on. We'll see if they can continue that. Banana Splits had a hot streak in the middle of the season after a pretty poor start, so we'll see who can advance here. No one is finding the house thus far. 3 marbles have gone 0-0 so far. Banana Splits trying to get on the board here. Will they? No, I don't think they will. Going off to the right side. Balls of Zen. 3rd marble now. Also can't do anything.
Balls of Zen enjoying that top side. Banana Splits joining them. These marbles do not want to go in the house for some reason. Oh, there we go. Some contact. Will that get anyone in? Balls of Zen finally with a point, as I believe this might even be the anchor already. And that is a point. Is it 2? No, it's not 2, but they will advance still over the Balls of Zen. Their consistency may be starting to fade a little bit here.
What a clutch performance by that final anchor Banana Split, just using their teammate as a bit of a guard to let them get close to the button just based on distance to the button. The Banana Splits are moving on. That is so close between these two. The Balls of Zen may have thought they had it with that one late score, but the Banana Splits with the anchor made perfect use of it. As we move on to the 4th heat, the Eclipses and the Marine team. Eclipses coming off a silver in the last event. Oh, what their marble is going to be perched in the top right. We'll see what the Marine team can do. A bounce, and they go off to the near side. think that's a bit far to be a guard. Eclipse is going to try to get on the board here, and they are. 2 points for that second Eclipse. How can the Marine team respond? Will they give them a nudge? But they're not going to get them out of the 2-point ring.
No, Eclipses having the lead. The Eclipses are struggling to hit that backboard and rebound back into the house. 2 of their marbles have done that now. Marine team can't stop going back beyond the house. Let's see what happens here. Ooh, yeah, there again. They're not getting the bounce back that they would have wanted, but they're still maintaining that lead, 2-0 ahead of the Marine team. Oh gosh, that was a pitiful anchor.
Yeah, absolutely disastrous for the Marine team. No points on the board here. Eclipses, crushing victory, 2-0 to them. That final Marine team just couldn't even find the house. Some of these marbles really struggling to get in the house. It's not a very wide entry into the curling board. So, Marine team going to suffer a 2-0 loss here as we move on to the second half of the first part of the bracket. It's the Pixelated Artist and the Green Lotus. The Artist coming off a gold medal. Oh, the first Green Lotus goes off to the right side. It's still 0-0 here. Can the Artist use that good momentum from the previous event to carry that forward here? It's still 0-0. Green Lotus trying to find something here.
That is a point for the Green Lotus, and the Pixelated Artists miss the house, and they are rolling away. Oh, they're going off somewhere. Meanwhile, the Green Lotus making sure to try and set up some guards, maybe. Try and stop that Pixelated Artist marble from getting hit into the house. Is that a point up top for the Pixelated Artist? Yes! Yes, it is. Green Lotus, is this the anchor? I believe it is so. And if it will, that is a win for the Green Lotus. Look at that! Green Lotus advancing. They have not had the greatest of seasons so far, so this will be very, very good for their fans.
And meanwhile, on the other end, the Pixelated Artists, second place in the championship, and they're going to be knocked out while the championship leaders are moving on. That final Green Lotus marble just doing the nail in the coffin to move the Pixelated Artists aside as we move on to the Wishful Spheroids and the Grown Garden. The Spheroids, still the only team with multiple goals in the season. Their first marble can't find the house. Can Grown Garden do? They curl back. Marbles really curling back on that left side here. As the second Spheroid tries to... Ooh, they're very close to the 1-point ring, and they're going to give 1 point to them. As the Grown Garden trying to find the house now. And they just join their teammate. Grown Garden still not on the board. Wishful Spheroids. Solid impact, and they are now 2-0 to the Grown Garden.
Grown Garden cannot stop hitting themselves, and that does not mean to sound comedic, but it is what they're doing. Meanwhile, the Wishful Spheroids bouncing off the Green Garden. Are they sitting in the 3? No, that is a 2, but 4-0. Look at this lead. Is that a point for the Grown Garden? At least they get a point, but the Wishful Spheroids 4-1. I think that is our most dominant win so far.
Yes, it is 4-1. The Grown Garden did get a bit of a pity point there at the end to try to limit any sort of damage, but 3 points differential is still, I think, the biggest we've had thus far. A lot of very borderline scores there, but the Wishful Spheroids 4 points in this one with 3 of their marbles scoring points. That is really pretty much the best you can do in curling. As we move on to the Knights of Night and the Flaming Cobras. The Flaming Cobras, as we said, have a lot of experience in curling. Knights of Night trying to set up a guard with that first marble. Flaming Cobras. Ooh, are they going to go on the blue? They are not. It's still 0-0. Knights of Night trying to curl, and they do, and they'll get 1 point on the board. Flaming Cobras will respond very nicely, hitting the Knights of Night off, and it swings to the other way to the Flaming Cobras. Can the Knights of Night get them back?
That was a very strategic hit from that Flaming Cobra marble, and look at that! Dead stop on the backboard, but it still gives them a point. This is a lead for the Cobras, the Knights of Night! Not gonna let them go quietly into the night. Excuse the pun there, but the Flaming Cobras, will they get this? That's another point for them. It may be hard to see, but it is! The Flaming Cobras advance over the Knights of Night. I would love to see the top-down shot of that to just see how close that bottom marble was, but I think they still might have got it anyway, being closer to the button.
This was really back and forth between these two teams. They kept on knocking each other off their positions, and that is just about in the ring. Flaming Cobras are going to move on. What a hard-fought victory that was. As we move to our final heat of the round of 16, the Time Watchers and Team Downpour. two T teams in this one. The first time watcher, bit of a curl way too far, and they're out of the house entirely. Team Downpour very borderline, and they're going to count that 1-0, but Team Downpour quickly dispatched by the time watchers. And we go back to 0-0. Team Downpour, are they going to try to get on the board once again? Yes, they do. Square in the center, and they're back 1-0.
That is going to be 2 points for the Time Watchers. The pendulum now swings into the Time Watchers' favor, but now that is 2 points for Team Downpour. We are knotted, and now, are we not? Is that 3-1? I was about to say 3-2. Oh, that could have been a strategic play there, but I don't think it worked in their favor. No, it did not. Time Watchers advancing over Team Downpour in this match. That was very close between them throughout, but Time Watchers out-strategizing them all the way through. And that is the move that ended it.
Yeah, there were quite a few collisions in that match, but the Time Watchers always seem to be a step ahead of Team Downpour, who are tied with the Party Crashers for 11th place. Both of them and Blood Moons tied for 9th place, and they'll both get 7 points from this event. But there you can see our matchups in the quarterfinals. The winner of these will guarantee a top 4 finish for them. Abstract Aquatics, the championship leaders, against our hosts, the Flamethrowers, in the first quarterfinals. Very highly anticipated match this is, as the first Aquatic goes to the top right corner as the Flamethrower, kind of joins them, but are they on the one? Yes, they are! Flamethrowers on the board. Aquatics are going to try to slightly nudge them off, and they do very nicely, back to 0-0, and Flamethrowers are going to try to get back, and they're not going to be able to. Aquatics have a chance here. They're going to get on the board on the red, 3-0 to the Aquatics.
That was very close to the button, the closest we've seen all day. The Flamethrower marble there tries to make an effort, doesn't do much, and the score goes well down. Oh, Flamethrowers have taken the lead! All of a sudden, the pendulum is swung right at the end. The Flamethrowers! Where did that come from? I thought this match was done and dusted. Flamethrowers coming back to knock out the Abstract Aquatics, the championship leaders, in the quarterfinals.
And it was that mistake by one of the final Aquatics knocking their teammate off their great position, and that really tied the match up for the Flamethrowers. They had those minor points, and they didn't make the mistakes that the Abstract Aquatics did. So the home team is guaranteed a top 4 finish. They will face one of the Banana Splits and the Eclipses in this second quarterfinal. Banana Splits will lead the way here, but can't get on the board. Eclipses, can they get on the board with their first marble? They're hugging the left wall there. Not going to be able to. Banana Splits with their third marble. Oh, just borderline, and I think that's going to be 1 point. Yes, it is. Banana Splits are on the board. Eclipses, can they respond well? No, they cannot. Still, 0-1 to the Banana Splits.
Ooh, an unfortunate hit between teammates there. That knocks everyone out of the house. Eclipses still having a couple of issues with bouncing off of the backboard. Either too far or not far enough. Meanwhile, the Banana Splits back on the house. 1 point to them, and this is the last chance for the Eclipses to join them, and it will not happen. The Banana Splits advancing to the semifinals, and possibly with a medal. Eclipses, not quite enough here.
Yeah, I don't think the Eclipses had a single point on the board at any point during this match. So really looked out of their element here after a great win in their heat. Banana Splits are on to the semis. Now in the third quarterfinal, Green Lotus and the Wishful Spheroids. Another tale of two fates here. The Green Lotus going to try to get on the board early here, though. And is that going to be 2 points? Yes, it is. Wishful Spheroids will respond with one, high scoring early on in this match. But these marbles could be swept off if they're not careful. The second Green Lotus is not going to find the house. Still, 2-1. Advantage Green Lotus. Wishful Spheroids going to try to give their teammate a bit of a nudge. And they get a point on the board. 2-2. Tie game halfway down in this match.
Yes, and you got to think that regardless of advancing and not advancing, there is bragging rights to this because these are two cat side teams, and so there will be a lot of bragging rights. That was a great hit. That moved just about everyone on the board, and another one. The Wishful Spheroids knocked the Green Lotus out with a great hit there. Look, everyone near the back, and one of these marbles just comes and undoes everything. That one, the Green Lotus marble, hits pretty much everyone, and it completely changes the result of the match.
Another huge mistake we saw in that quarterfinal. The Green Lotus had 4 points on the board, completely swept off by their teammate. Wishful Spheroids are on to the next round, and now in the final quarterfinal, the Flaming Cobras and the Time Watchers. Solid impact completely stops their momentum. 0-0 so far. The Time Watchers are going to try to arrest their momentum, but they have the opposite problem. Way too far off the board. Flaming Cobras, they try to nudge off their teammate. Does not work very well, but the Time Watchers nudging the Flaming Cobras, and that gives the Cobras a point on the board.
Yes, that was not a good call from the Time Watchers there. Flaming Cobras sitting with that 1 point. Oh, dead stop on the back wall, and that gives them a point. That could be strategy right there. Oh gosh, hitting your teammate. That worked out, or does it? They're still rolling around. It does. Time Watchers with the anchor. Oh, and it just goes way too far, almost bouncing back to the start. Oh, they're gone off. They're not happy. Flaming Cobras advance 1-0, and I think the Time Watchers weren't too pleased with that.
It was that final Flaming Cobra that just made sure to give everyone the nudge that they could. That nudged the Time Watchers off and left the board all for the Flaming Cobras, and they are moving on. The Green Lotus get the best of the rest in 5th place, and it's the Eclipses and Time Watchers tied for 6th place. Aquatics, the championship leaders, only 8 points from this event, so they could have had a chance to extend that advantage, but we are on to the semifinals. Flamethrowers and the Banana Splits in the first one. Flamethrower is going to try to find the house. Very borderline that is, but not a point on the board. Banana Splits also a borderline one. Is that 1 point? I don't think it is. Flamethrowers now going to try to respond, but too far of a curl back, and the Banana Splits now have an easy open opportunity to get a point, but still 0-0 in the semi-final.
Ooh, a big hit on those 2 Banana Splits marbles from that Flamethrower athlete. And what are we going to do here? That is 1 point. We are evened out, but oh, I was just about to say that front marble would be prone to attacks by the Flamethrowers, and here we are with the anchor. Does it change anything? Ooh! Yes, it does! Is that advancement for the Banana Splits? What a play from that anchor! Flamethrowers thought they had that in the bag, but Banana Splits coming in with a really strategic move. That one right there. You do not want to be at the front of the house because you are very prone to attacks. But it did not work in the Flamethrowers' favor by the end.
The anchor marble of the Banana Splits has pulled off heroics multiple times now in this event. They're definitely one to watch out for as we head into the final. But first, to see who joins them, the Wishful Spheroids or the Flaming Cobras. The first Spheroids going, and just barely not on the board. Flaming Cobras, way off to the left side. They're also not on the board. The Wishful Spheroids is going to try to bump off them. Is that a point on the board? Yes, it is. Flaming Cobras immediately push them off, and now we are back to 0-1 actually. The Flaming Cobras are on the board with their other marble now.
This is very close indeed. All the marbles at the back of the house, so this could make things interesting. That, I believe, is 2-0 or 2-0 to the Flaming Cobras. Ooh, Wishful Spheroids making a change. What is gonna... That marble keeps rolling around. The last Flaming Cobra misses the house, scared of changing the result, and it was the right choice. 3-1. The Flaming Cobras will be getting their first medal of the Marble Invite Season 2.
Will it be a gold or will it be a silver? We'll have to wait and see, but this is the best result for the Flaming Cobras all season. What a great move by that final marble as well. After all their teammates had did all the work for them, their final marble made sure to stay out of trouble, and they are advancing to the final. To see who gets the bronze, though, the Flamethrowers and the Wishful Spheroids, 2 yellow teams with a chip on their shoulder, hoping that they could have advanced. They're going to face for the bronze medal. The first Flamethrower can't do much. First Wishful Spheroid is going to stay on the blue. It's now 1-0 to the Wishful Spheroid. The second Flamethrower tries to nudge their teammate. Nothing doing, though, as the Spheroids trying to get on the board as well, but they still have the advantage, 1-0.
Yes, the Flamethrowers have been hitting their own teammates a lot more than the Wishful Spheroids here. Oh, that was a big hit from the Wishful Spheroids. And that puts the board 2-2. I believe the Wishful Spheroids are in the 2-point ring even, and that explains... Oh, did we lose a point? We did! Wishful Spheroids have lost a point. Oh, how does that leave it? That leaves it with the Flamethrowers. Flamethrowers take the bronze, and the home crowd are ecstatic.
That is their third medal of the season for the home team. Really kind of back and forth in this one as well. Wishful Spheroids had it at some point, but the Flamethrowers just managed to get it in the nick of time. and they will stand on the lowest step of the podium. Banana Splits and the Flaming Cobras will battle it out for the gold though. Banana Splits will lead the way with their first marble, curls way off. Oh, and they're going completely off the screen. Flaming Cobras now have an open opportunity to get points here. Not on the board though yet for the Flaming Cobras. The second Banana Split is going to try to get on the board here. Oh, just barely in the blue. And they are now 1-0. Flaming Cobras trying to nudge them aside. And they do. It's back to 0-0. Banana Splits will solidly impact off them. 1-0 to them. But everything could change with the Flaming Cobras and they push them out. 3-0 to the Flaming Cobras.
That was a brilliant move by that Flaming Cobra marble. Banana Splits have nothing for it. The Flaming Cobras, all they need to do is avoid the teammates. They do! It is gold for the Flaming Cobras. After a season of hardships, they have finally triumphed. And the Banana Splits are still very happy to get a silver. But oh, what could have been. Look at this. This is the move right here. Bam! And that is what won the Flaming Cobras a gold medal.
That move displaying the Banana Splits on either side, symbolic of the Flaming Cobras' experience in this event. We mentioned it before, and their resounding victory in this event. Well done to the Flaming Cobras for getting the full 25 points, Banana Splits with the silver, and the Flamethrowers would get the bronze medal. Some teams, especially the Cobras, not high up in the standings, doing well in this event. We'll see how this shakes up the standings. The Aquatics did manage a top half, but only managed 8th place. And the Flaming Cobras absolutely ecstatic with this result here.
Let's see how high they have jumped up. It is 3 positions. It is very close in the middle of these standings. Oh, but look at the bottom there in red. The Party Crashers, they cannot win this championship anymore. That is unfortunate. But look at that lead from the Abstract Aquatics. Back up to 10 points. The Eclipses jumped up 3 into second place.